Let's go. Switch 2 price and even more release date information is leaking. Let's talk about it. Oh, we got a lot more.
Obi-Wan plays.
That's right. What's up? All right.
Obi-Wan plays.
What is going on, everybody? How are y'all doing? What's up, everybody? Coming into the chat, we have some dope Switch 2 just Nintendo news for you, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get started, give the stream a big, gigantic thumbs up, like, and a couple things to talk about pertaining to the Switch release date. We got some price information, and if you want to join a dope Nintendo Switch gaming community, links in the description. Also, we will be doing a Switch 2 giveaway. That's going to be pretty big on the channel. The Switch 2 console giveaway. Y'all know we do legitimate giveaways. Make sure you're subscribed here. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on TikTok. Those 3 platforms. And you are in the running for an epic giveaway. All right. Let's get to the news. The first news item is a Switch 2 price leak leaves fans pleasantly surprised. Primester said, I caved in and bought a PS5 Pro and a disc drive. Wow, Pete Meiser. Good stuff, bro. I heard the PS5 did pretty good on Black Friday, as it should. They just got a PS5 Slim and the PS5 Pro. Sony's the only one with new hardware this holiday season. Will Obi-Wan ever bring back the hype hat? You know it's coming. When that Switch 2 reveal happens, we gotta save it for rare occasions, or else the hype hat becomes watered down. Kenny, come on, bro. All right. But what's up, Kenny? Hope you're doing good, man. All right, we're already at 8 likes. 10 more likes. Let's get it to 20 likes. Let's get to the first news item, and then we're going to keep on going from there. All right, so this is coming from GameBible.com. Aside from the date, we finally get to see the Nintendo Switch 2. The most important thing about the console will be the price. It said aside from the date. Okay. For many, buying a new console is a hefty consideration, and Nintendo has always felt the safe bet for a lower price experience. We're going to talk about the gaming industry as a whole. I came across another pretty interesting article about AAA games and what's going on with the gaming industry. We got to talk about that, but that's later on in the stream. Switch 2 hype now begins. Let's go, Tony. What's up, man? Nintendo will eventually announce the Switch 2, and it's rumored to be backwards compatible. Not rumored, it's confirmed by Nintendo. Come on, get your information right. Nintendo's global president has already confirmed Switch 2 will be backwards compatible. They have to announce that before Christmas so y'all can keep buying Switch games. All right, so it comes as a pleasant surprise to many that the leaked price for the Nintendo Switch 2 is sitting at $400. Now, this has been leaked before, but another source is leaking, and we're going to get into it, that the Switch 2 price is $400. Now, I always said that seems like the sweet point. The Switch for years has been $300. When the OLED came out, it bumped up to $350. And so, Nintendo has not dropped the price of their console all generation. Yes, during Black Friday, you have temporary price adjustments for Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals. But for the most part, the price has not changed for the Switch, for the Switch this entire console generation. Bro, we could very well see the Switch stay at $300, OLED Nah, I think the OLED at 350 and then a Switch 2 at 400, too close in price difference. But no, Nintendo, you never know what Nintendo's gonna do. They may have, they could do this. When the Switch 2 comes out, the original Switch, bump that down to $199, $200. Have a Switch OLED maybe at 300, and then have the Switch 2 at 400. Now I think they're just gonna do probably $199 for the current Switch and $400 for the Switch 2. Who knows? We'll see. But right now, this leak is saying $400 for a Switch 2. The leak was initially reported by Twisted Voxel before taken to Reddit for fans to discuss. The price came from a reputable leaker who had previously mentioned the launch date and price of the PlayStation 5 Pro and was spot on. So this person has some credibility. And for this person to be right about $700 for a PS5 Pro, a lot of people was like, no way, that's not going to happen. And it happened. So, all right, so this lends some weight to the leak. However, with all the rumors, we suggest still taking with the price of salt. It's worth noting, though, that the price of $400 was well received. I think $400 for a more powerful handheld is a good sweet spot. One Redditor commented, honestly, that's not bad compared to a $700 price that the PS5 Pro wound up with. A big part of the initial rumor was that the idea that Nintendo would drop two versions of the console. I talked about this. That Nintendo's going to have an all digital and physical. Let's see if that's what it's saying. This is likely a standard OLED version and a light. Oh, they're talking about an OLED and a light. Though a light version usually comes a couple of years into the life cycle, it could also be different colors. I don't know if they're going to do an OLED and a light at launch. I think they're just going to have one size at launch, but it's going to be digital and physical. That's my bet. This had fans speculating and commenting on what they would be happy to pay for. Hopefully that means we can get a more powerful version with OLED at launch. I'm definitely willing to pay a bit more for the best hardware they have, said another user. Another user wonders on what will be in the box. I could see them doing a box without any of the extras, perhaps the route of Apple, and not including things we already have. How would y'all feel about Nintendo launching a Switch with no power cord? No way to charge the console. When you think about it, everybody has a USB charger somewhere in their house. So that would be interesting, even though I know Nintendo's specific about you have to have a certain voltage or else you might damage the system. So that's something else. But one thing I do know is Nintendo's very price conscious. They weigh price into everything they do, the design of the system, the rollout, etc. Lake Show, what's up, bro? I hope you've been good, man. Switch Pro at $449, $499. I think Nintendo's only did like a iterative upgrade once, and that was with the 3DS, as far as having more power. Like I remember the 3DS XL had actually a faster CPU than the original 3DS. But other than that, Nintendo doesn't really do mid-gen refreshes like Sony and Xbox has been doing recently. Speaking of Xbox, Xbox is tanking right now in hardware sales, bro. You notice they haven't announced any mid-gen refresh because their current hardware isn't even selling good enough to warrant a mid-gen refresh. But the 400 price point, what do you guys think? Let me do a quick poll. Would you buy a Switch at a 400 price point? Let me do a poll real quick. Would you buy a Switch 2 at 400? Let's see what y'all say. So the poll has just went up. Would you buy Switch 2 at $400? Interesting. Let me know. All right. The next news item right now, 100% said yes. It's starting to vote. All right. We have another Switch news item. And this is more information specifically related to shipment and leaks on the shipment of the console. More information From what this is adding on to something I already reported, but new information. We're at 11 likes, 5 people coming into the stream. Give the stream a thumbs up. Let's get it to 16 likes right now. All right. This is coming from Gamerant.com. A rumor, Switch 2 console production may be ramping up. And we have even more information from what we previously reported. Some recent shipment data indicates that Nintendo might be preparing to mass manufacture its Switch 2 next-gen console. As Nintendo remains tight-lipped about the Switch 2, the rumor could be a promising sign for an early 2025 reveal of the highly anticipated system. Nintendo confirmed plans for the Switch 2 earlier this year and committed to a formal reveal of the next console before the end of fiscal year 2025. So before April, we're going to get a reveal. We know this, which would be March 31st. Since then, there's been nothing but radio silence from Nintendo regarding the Switch 2, leaving fans reliant on leaks and rumors about potential details on the console. With 2024 set to close out soon though, anticipation for a forthcoming reveal of the Nintendo Switch 2 has begun to increase, and so has the volume of surrounding rumors. Xbox only needs adaptive controllers similar to PS5. I think it's too little too late, bro. I don't think there's anything Xbox can do to salvage this generation. Xbox just needs to go third party. I'm just keeping it a buck, bro. I've seen this story before with Sega and the Dreamcast. They can't do anything to salvage it. Even releasing blockbuster games at this point, fans are like, it's just gonna come to a PS5. Like, they have their AAA first party games coming to PS5 right now. They're a third party developer, and they're just slowly transforming right in front of our eyes. All right, back to the Switch 2. A recent rumor alleged that Nintendo may reveal the Switch 2 in January 2025 for a March 2025 launch. Fingers crossed that this is the case, somewhat mirroring the release strategy of the Switch in 2017. Now, some newly discovered data from eagle-eyed Switch 2 fans lend this rumor some credence. Universal Nintendo recently published a report discussing some shipment data collected by Family Board's forum user LIC, which claimed that in September 2024, we talked about this, but there's going to be new information. NVIDIA delivered over 836,000 units of its T239 chipsets to Nintendo contracted manufacturer in Vietnam. So a mass production of T239 chips are being produced right now by Nintendo. But here's even more information. Mass assembly of Nintendo Switch 2's essential components have also begun. May have also begun. The NVIDIA T239, say that 10 times fast, system on a chip is widely believed to be powering the Switch 2. And LIC's gathered shipment data suggests that factories have been mass producing essential components for the console since at least the end of September. Speaking of which, LIC's information also highlights some potential Switch 2 components which have been dispatched in substantial quantities. Check this out. Such as RAM modules, 500,000 units between suppliers Micron, Samsung, and Hynix, and UFS storage, 290,000 units between Kioxia and Hynix. Moreover, Universal Nintendo expects that the next component shipment report should be shared in early December, possibly shedding more light on Nintendo's plan for mass manufacturing the Switch 2. Prior reports have alleged that Nintendo wants to avoid stock shortages for the Switch 2. So, for 586% said yes. Now, this is what I want y'all to see. Not only is the T239 chips being shipped, but other key manufacturing parts for a Nintendo console is now being reported, officially reported. This is big. Even though Nintendo has been tight-lipped, we can't tell y'all nothing about the Switch 2. Other reporting from other subsidiaries that partner with Nintendo are reporting their shipments and all signs are pointing to big Nintendo's ramping up for big mass manufacturing at a high rate for the Switch 2. All right. And I like that the article is mentioning Nintendo's trying to avoid stock shortages. The Switch 2, after about the first couple of days, they were hard to find. The PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles, hard to find for over a year, probably the first 2 years. And I'm sure both those companies lost out in sales, especially during the pandemic, where they were just sold out. Nintendo wants to maximize their profit. Nintendo wants to make sure you can always get a Switch 2 easily. One thing I want Nintendo to sort of do what PlayStation has done through their PlayStation Store. I know this is a little controversial, but to combat scalpers, Sony had you sign up through your PlayStation account to pre-order PS5s. And what did Sony do? They checked to see whether or not this account was actually buying games and gave preference to accounts that has a large game library. They even looked at your trophy count and said, hey, we're going to give you priority. You can skip the line to pre-order PS5s. Bro, Nintendo do that, I'll be at the front of the line, bro. I got so many games on my Switch. I bought so many Switch consoles. And so I hope Nintendo does that somehow, links to your Nintendo account, just as an option, not the end all be all. But if you want to guarantee you get a Switch 2 at launch, sign up, use your Nintendo account, and we'll give you preference. And that wins for Nintendo too. They know that this person is a scalper. They're a legit fan, and this person's going to buy games. This person is going to buy games for our system. So if Nintendo does that, I think that'll be a big W. We're at 18 likes. 2 people give the stream a thumbs up, and we'll be over 20 likes. Put this in my closet upstairs. All right. So I think this is good that they're doing whatever they can to combat scalpers. All right. So they want to wrap up their stock, which could entail the console's release date slipping past March. I don't think it's going to be delayed even more. The Switch 2 has already been delayed. Nintendo just haven't announced it, so we can't say it's been officially delayed. But I think it was supposed to come out this year, but Nintendo is ramping up supply for the system. So I don't think it's going to slip even further down in 2025. With only 4 months left until the end of the current fiscal year, Nintendo fans are hopeful that the gaming giant is gearing up to unveil the Switch 2 soon. So it's right around the corner for Nintendo to do something big for the Switch 2. All right, we have another news item. We have another one. Let's check out this next news item. I thought this was very interesting, very telling, and why Nintendo is still killing it even this generation. IGN came out with an article that says the blockbuster games bubble has burst. And they say the AAA industry survival may depend on smaller scale, creative, diverse games. They pointed to Concord, how Sony put a lot of money, a lot of investment, and the developers had put a lot of time into making this game, and the game flopped. This was going to be another online service driven game. A lot was invested into it, and the game did not sell to expectations, and Sony lost a lot of money. But not just Sony. If we looked at the game industry over this past year, this has been the worst year of layoffs between PlayStation and Xbox and third-party developers just laying off, studios cutting back, primarily because hundreds of millions of dollars are invested into these games. And if they don't meet astronomical expectations, it's considered a loss. Even games like, I remember it was like Final Fantasy 16 that sold a good amount. I think it sold like 4 million or something its launch week. It was a good number. But Square Enix came out and said it did not meet their expectations sales wise. The only company that seemed to have been safe, and this may be the blueprint going forward, is Nintendo. They're the only company. Let me just give one example. Let me put this trailer up right now. Bro, this game right here is a perfect example of why Nintendo knows what they're doing and why they don't just simply follow what everyone else is doing. Animal Crossing New Horizons. Look at this game. This game, more than likely, this is considered a Nintendo AAA game, by the way. But this art style, the assets for this game, Nintendo probably didn't spend a whole lot of money. I'm sure the game was still expensive to make because it's a well put together game. But compared to Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga, Xbox probably spent way more money making that game than Nintendo did making this game. You know what this game did like its first week? Within like a week or two, the game sold like over 30 million. Like a ridiculous amount. What does that mean? Nintendo made a huge profit on this game. And that's pretty much every Nintendo first party game. Even Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was considered Nintendo's most expensive game to date. But I'm sure they more than made up with the hardware. I know it's over 20 million they made off of Tears of the Kingdom in sales. And so Nintendo has a blueprint of, we're not going to spend too much making these games, and we're going to sell a whole lot of our Sony and Xbox first party console sales don't hold a candle to what Nintendo's exclusives sell. Mario Kart is pushing 60 million units sold on the Switch. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, not even counting the Wii U sales. This is just Mario Kart 8 on the Switch. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is pushing over 60. I think the last number I saw was 58 million. Crazy, bro. You know how much money they made off that game? And I think Nintendo has a formula. They're going to do the same thing for the Switch too. Yeah, some hardcore fans, it's an underpowered hardware. It can't do 120 frames per second 4K. Nintendo's laughing all the way to the bank because everybody and their mom was going to still buy Mario Kart 9. Everybody's going to buy the next Smash. And Nintendo's not going to break the bank developing these games. And at the end of the day, Nintendo caters great to their fans. Nintendo fans are going to be pleased with, you know what, this is a fun game. The game for me, gameplay always trumps everything, bro. Yes, it may not have all the intricate polygon counts, lighting effects and all that, but when the gameplay is just fun, I'm good, bro. Let me put up another trailer, another case in point. This game right here. Echoes of Wisdom. Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. I'm currently playing through this game. And I have to admit, when the game was first released, revealed, I was like, this game looks amazing, bro. Like, this is dope. We finally get a 2D. And I've been saying that. We need a new 2D Zelda game. Go look at my old videos. We need a new 2D Zelda game with the Link's Awakening art style. And that's what Nintendo did. But when it was revealed that we're playing primarily as Zelda, and all I saw was her spawning tables, I was like, hold on, is this going to be any good? But bro, I'm playing through this game. This is one of my favorite Zelda games, man. Like the game is just fun. The save system is just this game has the best save system ever, bro. The ability to just fast travel, it's just something about it that is just good. But besides all that, the actual gameplay is so fun. I thought it was going to be annoying to constantly scroll through getting different items to try to figure out what to do in certain areas, but it just works. It just clicks. This is low-key like a Pokemon Zelda game, bro. You're just spawning other enemies to fight other enemies and you're watching. But my point for bringing this up is I'm sure Nintendo didn't break the bank to develop this game. They reused the game engine from a previous Zelda game, put their own twist on it, made it fun. The game looks good, runs well. Few technical hiccups, but you can't even notice it. Just a fun game. And the game is going to make a good profit for Nintendo. And so, if Nintendo does this with the Switch 2, have fun, unique software, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Yes, I think it's going to be powerful enough to run key third-party games. But as long as we get those great first-party games and we get NBA 2K, I'll be good. Nintendo will be good. So I thought this was an interesting article from IGN saying that the Blockbuster Games bubble has burst, and it has. If you're not GTA 6, you really can't spend years and years making a game hoping that it's going to sell. We all know GTA 6 is going to go crazy. But other than that, it's really been a struggle. Hold on, my son is calling me. My oldest son just called me. He got pulled over by a cop. He got a ticket, $280. I was like, hey, you can pay for it. You got money. All right. So Nintendo has a game plan going forward. And before we leave this whole Blockbuster Games bubble bursting, I really think next generation, yes, Sony's probably going to announce a PlayStation 6. I think Xbox may not release another powerful home console. I think they may release a handheld console and go the way of Nintendo, hybrid. But even then, I think they're going to still struggle because you got to have compelling games and exclusives. There's a reason why. There's been a rumor recently about Sony announcing, or not announcing, but there's a leak that Sony's making a handheld to combat the Switch 2. They see what Nintendo made more money this one generation than all of their previous console generations combined. Let me say that again so that could sink in. Nintendo made more money just during the Nintendo Switch console generation than the NES, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Wii U, of course, Game Boy, DS. You know how much the DS sold? 154 million. The DS, 3DS, all of their handheld and home consoles combined does not add up to how much money Nintendo made during the Switch generation. And you think PlayStation and Xbox didn't take note? Nope. So we're going to be seeing a lot more handhelds these next few generations. And as long as Nintendo has their exclusives, they're going to always be good. They're always going to be good. They're always going to sell. They're always going to make a profit with Zelda, Mario, Metroid Prime 4. Can't wait. All right. We have another one. We have another news item, and I thought this one was pretty interesting. Where is it? Where's the trailer I'm looking for? I know I had it. Yeah, this is Game Explain. All right. This video coming courtesy of Game Explain. Shout out to Andre. I think Game Explain has always been my favorite YouTube channel. But they did an analysis comparing Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, the Switch version, and the original Wii version. And it's interesting. In some aspects, the Switch version looks better. Overall, the Switch, now let's be real. Overall, the Switch HD version looks better. Clearer, less pixelization, and so forth. But there are still some missing components that were on the Wii that's not on the Switch. They're so small and minute that you're not going to notice. You're going to overall appreciate the HD version, the upgrade. But I found it interesting that there are still some omissions from the original Wii. So the game comes out in January. Definitely going to pick it up. The Donkey Kong 2D platforming games are some of the best 2D platforming games ever made. So overall, the game is still going to be good, but I just found it interesting. Is my microphone messing up? Gold just said mic check. No, my mic is still good. I just found it interesting. Yeah. All right, I just had to check myself. So I found this interesting. Go check out Game Explain's video comparing the two games. Overall, the Switch remake is going to be worth it, the upgrade, but there are some small missing or some alterations that he just found interesting. All right, but they did make some improvements since a few months ago when it was some noticeable downgrades. So that's always good. All right, this next news item, bro, games are being delisted from the eShop. One is temporary, one is permanent. And this is the benefits and the drawbacks of an all-digital future. Triangle Strategy, made by Square Enix. I always wanted to pick up this game. This game just looked dope. But it's a strategy RPG strategy game. This game just looks dope. I might eventually. This is one of the games in my backlog. The game is being temporarily delisted. No reason given. Square Enix just said that we're going to temporarily delist the game. And it's going to eventually come back on the eShop. If you did already purchase the game, you can still download the game. But you can't buy the game on the eShop currently, which is crazy. I don't know. By the time this video, maybe it's back up. But it just lets you know that, well, the same thing could happen. The GameStop could just go out of stock of a physical game and it not be available too. So that's been delisted temporarily, but permanently delisted. NASCAR Heat has been delisted from the Nintendo eShop, not just the Nintendo eShop, but all digital stores. I think there's some licensing issues why the game has been pulled. So if you always wanted to get this game, you never got it, you out of luck. All right, those are all the news items for today's stream. Some dope news. What do you guys think about everything we talked about? Don't forget our Switch 2 giveaway. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're going to be doing big things. Sound off in the comment section below. I want to know, but before you go, bro, click that subscribe button. Stay up to date. All things Nintendo. We out.
Obi-Wan plays.
That's right. What's up? All right.
Obi-Wan plays.